Who's got a question? Yes.
I'll ask you about cashless tolling when that
Yes.
goes into effect. It was unclear in the statement that was sent out earlier this week if carpooling, you would look into ways of new technology to keep the carpooling discount, or could you keep a booth staffed with someone to keep that discount?
Yeah,
and
I
promote
thought,
that discount?
yeah, so I thought we were clear about it. If not, let me just kind of reiterate. So we are obviously moving to cashless tolls, and we understood when we passed this in September that there was not the technology that would allow us to capture the actual number of occupants. So we moved ahead and pushed forward and had this thing start effective January. After some consideration, we've seen some of the feedback, and like I said, I think Congressman Gottheimer in particular is pretty forceful with a number of conversations we've had. Congressman Gottheimer is really of a full understanding that this technology exists. We have not seen that technology, so he has pledged to work with our staff and move some of that technology to us, and we're going to study it. If it in fact pans out to be real and something we can rely upon, we will take it seriously, and whether we alter the plans or not, depending on the outcome of that study. So we have effectively moved this to the effective date when we move into cashless tolling. So we've pushed this back 10 months or so. In the meantime, I've pledged to Congressman Gottheimer and others, if he can surface with this technology that is something that we can rely upon, we will absolutely consider it.
Now, another reason, it seems like not a lot of people use that discount because it wasn't really promoted. If the technology is found, would you then promote carpooling? It's a green and
Well, I think that actually
environmentally
carpooling is
initiative.
actually fairly well used. I mean, it's what, 3.5%, 4%? 3% of the folks use it. I think people do notice. And actually, by moving the goalposts here, it's going to cost us about $17 million. So there is an impact to this. So I think it's prominent. And look, I'm not going to predict what's going to happen down the road, but we have pledged if the technology, and we said this in September, if the technology exists, we will absolutely consider it.
And $17 million, just sorry, following up on that,
Yeah.
that's what the Port Authority loses by?
Going forward by postponing the implementation
Okay.
of cashless tolling.
Got it.
Okay? Next question. Yes, sir.
Hi guys, Greg Marker from Channel 11. About the XBL and that new technology and the project that will be moving forward. Do you have some benchmarks on what you think it might be able to speed up or to save? And then also what role would NJ Transit and providers have to play? Would they be forced to adopt this? Would you be working with them? So 2 questions there.
Well, take a step back. We have a challenge with a legacy facility, the Lincoln Tunnel. The XBL operates at its maximum capacity for an hour and a half during the highest peak periods of commutation. What we're trying to do is identify every step we can take to increase the capacity. One of the potential promising technologies is the autonomous vehicle technology. Bus driver would still be in control of the bus, but would enable the bus to steer more precisely. It would enable buses to be safely closer together, and it has the significant possibility of increasing by up to 30% the capacity of the tunnel. So we want to be at the forefront of technology. We want to identify every possible way to improve the functioning of the tunnel for the benefit of the buses and the passengers who come through it. And that's the reason to reach to see if we can identify whether this technology in fact has promise. And this demonstration project, which is a proof of concept, is the first step in that direction.
So would NJ Transit, would you be testing it on their buses? What role would
Well,
providers-
we are 100% committed to doing this in cooperation with the bus carriers. New Jersey Transit is very prominent among them. We set up actually a formal mechanism by which the bus carriers participate with the Port Authority in this demonstration project, and we would look to follow that exact pattern going forward. We will do this in cooperation with the bus carriers.
Yes.
I don't know who would be the best person to answer the question, but today the board approved a 1-year contract extension for Cushman and Wakefield. And I was just wondering, do you think that the firm is doing a good job of overseeing the public spaces and infrastructure at the World Trade Center, given that earlier this year the Attorney General charged one of their electrical managers with accepting bribes to give preferential treatment to other companies, and also for being involved in hiring unqualified electricians that caused safety issues at the World Trade Center? And then on top of that, of course, there's the issues with the Oculus skylight, which they're in charge of managing. So I was just wondering, given everything that's happened over the last year, year and a half there, why give them another year? Why not look for somebody else?
Well, we have decided to give them a one-year extension. We intend during that period of time to take a very close look at what the options are in terms of going forward. So there's no implication in granting that extension in terms of what the long-term future will be.
But it seems as though it's recognition that you think that they're doing a sufficient job to keep them going.
Well, what I've said is we did it in order to give us adequate time to take a look at the long-term future.
Okay, and then in terms of the skylight itself, in the board approval, there was like $50 million to be spent next year. I think 30 to 37 million, I don't remember the exact amount, was for repairs and maintenance costs. Is some of that due for repairing the skylight? Have
No,
you figured
that-
out if you can repair it?
That figure is an estimate. Every year, the agency budgets a certain amount, which is based on an estimate based on the prior year and looking forward as to what the expectation is in terms of the spend on the basic day-to-day operation and maintenance that Cushman and Wakefield is responsible for. And that's what that $50 million was for.
But do you expect to repair the skylight next year?
Well, we're looking carefully at what the opportunities or what the options are with respect to the skylight. And we do not at this point have a complete engineering evaluation of what it is that went wrong. Once we have a complete, thorough expert evaluation, we will consider the options.
But it's been quite a long time now since it broke, so why is it taking so long to...
Because we believe in doing things right.
So how long do you think it will take?
I'm not in the business of making projections. We are going to get it right.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? All right, thank you all. See you in February.